Hello everyone, this is Yashwant. I am from third year AML department. Now I am going to explain you about our low level design project. It is on Pinterest application. The main theme of our project is to develop the low level design for the Pinterest. To do so, we assumed that some of the parameters are functional or taken care of. First of all, let us look at the problem statement. It is very simple, like we have to design the low level design such that how the application works using the OOPS concepts of the Java. And now coming to the introduction part, first we assumed that the user management like authentication and manage user authentication, data storing and rendering the URLs are taken care of the Pinterest application. Now coming to the variables, they are like user profile management. Next thing, creation of the board using the URLs. So here I am mentioning URLs because the images are rendered by the Pinterest application itself. So we just have to give the URLs. When we want to publish these things, we combine some of the URLs and make into a board. There is no limit on how many URLs you can put in the board. And next thing is user board creation function, store sharing functionality. Like uh, you can um, give access to different people to see your boards. Like if someone is following me, they can view my boards and my images. And if I am following someone, then I can see others too. That is the thing. And requirements. Now, for constructing any low level design, there are some requirements to be specified, and it is of two types. They are functional requirements and non-functional requirements. Functional requirements, as I said earlier, profile managing, board managing, sharing, uh, and lastly, uh, the objects that are written in the main method to call these. And non-functional requirements, as I said earlier, the DBMS, performance, availability, scalability. And as we can see, let us estimate roughly that there are 500 million active users of the Pinterest in overall a month around the globe. Then when we scale it down, the bandwidth per hour, like the number of views per hour would be 1 million, out of which those 100k are like write operations who are creating boards and publishing them, and remaining 900k are just read operations, like they are just scrolling the Pinterest and watching the URLs images of the others. Next thing, so when we look at this, the data is not structured and it has more read operations. We can use DynamoDB for this. Now let me show the high level design for this. This is the high level design. User will interact with the main method. Next, they create the profiles. Profiles contains different things like a username, user ID. Next, two array list. Two array list out of which contains the permissions you are granted to the others. And the next and the second one is uh, the board IDs which you are able to see. Next, boards, create a new board with board ID, board name, and we can update with URLs. Next, share is the other class which is used to grant permissions from one to the other. Like these are the things all are coordinated together in the main method according to the wish of the user and clients. These are the programs to this. When we run it, this is the output. First user is a user ID, and these two are the links that are there in his board. Next, this is the second one. These are the links that are in the user ID, in the board of that user. Next thing is profiles allowed by P1. Here the tricky part is that we have to allow ourselves to visit to see our boards. That is the thing. As we are publishing the boards, we are able to see our own things. If we are not added them to the array list of our own, then it won't be possible for us to view them. So that is the tricky part here. Next thing, these are the profiles shared to P1. Like P1 can see P1s, like I can see mine. Next, profiles allowed by P2. These are the profiles granted by P2. Like profile 2, like client has granted others to see his boards. These two are the things. And profiles shared to P2 means is nothing but the uh, to whom the P2 is following. That is 78. These are just the IDs, and this is the main class. These are the all classes. That's it. Next, my friends will continue.
As introduction part told my friend, I would like to explain some one of the class in my project, that is board class. Especially the board class is a fundamental component in Pinterest, like an application outlined in the low level design. It contains user ID, some board ID, and links which are now there are some important variables, some important variables, that is board ID and string ID. That's it's a array list which is a collection on how to, we use a constructor, and we use add methods, and we use get methods and set methods. As you know, the board ID. First, we have to see about board ID. As you know, board is a string. Board ID is a string which stores only string variables. Uh, it's a private means unique list. The board ID is unique for everyone, which means if you create a board ID, it is unique for you, and if you create another board ID, it is also unique. Coming to user ID, each user have assigned with singular user ID. For each person, you have a unique user ID, which is also in a string. Then coming to the list, the list which is named as links, which store the images, links, and the URLs. That means URLs which store the URLs. And we mainly use a constructor. Basically, the constructor is created with the same class name as we use that in code. Constructor is a dynamic array constructor. The purpose of the constructor is used to initialize a new instance of the board class within a specified board ID. It is set up with a single state of board, allowing the user to create board effectively. That means which we create multiple boards by using this. Then we have some methods which is add links and the array list method, which is a get method. Add link. The purpose of this method is to add your URL to this list, array list to the board, which access only strings. That's coming to last method, that is a public element, which is a get method, which return the links which is in the array list. The main use of this is the board class plays a vital role in managing the user generated content by encapsulating the all relevant behaving assets with the user board. It supports the key foundations such as adding the images and retrieving the image URLs, and it will display for to the user where the user will value. By using the hooks such as encapsulation. Encapsulation is mainly used for hiding the data within the class. Then modularity, that means separating the concerns, and this class contributes to a clean, maintainable code that can be easily extended or modified in the future. That means we can easily modify what in the future. That means we add some extra classes, extra methods, or extra constructors, or extra getter methods, or extra setter methods. Overall, the class serves a foundation for building block of implementing the board within the Pinterest application.
Here we have profile class, which is crucial component of Pinterest. It is like an application designed to manage user profiles and their associated permissions. This class encapsulates user information and provides us methods to access the boards and images. Next here, let's look into this code. Here we have username, which is used to store the username of the user. It is essential for identifying users within the application. It is a string. Next we have user ID. This attribute uniquely identifies each user in the system. And next we have an array list named as permitted profiles. This is a dynamic array which holds the IDs of users who have been granted permission to view the user's boards. And next we have another array list known as permission taken profiles. This array stores the IDs of users whose boards the current user has permission or not. Next, here we have a constructor public profile. This initializes a new instance of profile class without setting any initial values. Here we have various method names and their purposes. Here it is a method called set username. The purpose of this method is sets the both username and user ID for the profile. It allows user to establish their identity within the application. Next, another method is get username, which is used to retrieve the username associated within the profile. Next, we have get user ID. This method returns the uh, unique user ID of the profile. Here we have grant permission. This method allows a user to grant access to another user. And this method we have get allowed profiles, which is used to return a list of profiles that have been granted permission to view the user's boards. And another method is set permission takes. This method records a specific user has granted a permission or not. Here we have get allowed profiles by others. This method retrieves a list of profiles that have allowed this user to view their board. Here we have share class. It is designed for sharing the boards between users in the Pinterest-like application. This class encapsulates the functionality required to manage permissions related to board access, enabling users to collaborate and interact with each other. Here we have a constructor called share. This default constructor initializes a new instance of share class. This does not require any parameters and allows for the creation of share object. And next we have a method called share with. This method facilitates the sharing of board access between two profiles. One is the user and the another is client. The functionality of this share with method a method is client profile and grant permission to the user. It also retrieves the user ID of the user profile and records that this user has permission to view this by the client. Thank you.
Hello guys, this is Vignesh. I'm now going to explain about main.java program code. Here I have declared two set of variables, one for the user and another for the client. Initialized p1 object with username and user ID. I have declared likewise. I have declared p2 object which is initialized by client name and client ID. I have created two links are declared for each user, which are displayed on the respective boards. The board class helps manage these links for the user and the client. Okay. Let's come to the main crucial function, share with function. The share with function plays a crucial role in establishing connection between two objects, player p1 and p2. Okay. The main functionality of this share with function is to facilitate the sharing of boards between p1 and p2, which is similar to the printer-like application. Thank you. The low-level design for the Pinterest-like application by incorporating comprehensive framework for implementing functionalities related to user profile, sharing, and board mechanisms by leveraging the object-oriented programming principles. The design promotes accountability, manageability, and reusability, ensuring that the application can evolve over a period of time, meeting user needs. The key components for this project are profile management, sharing mechanisms, and board functionalities. Thank you.